There's a subheading here titled, How Do Your Personalities Mesh? We have a friend, Jim Gwen, who often tells engaged couples he's counseling, just remember, what is now will be then, only more so. It's his way of saying that whatever you find a bit annoying about your fiance during your engagement will not disappear after you marry. Quite the opposite. It is safe to say that he or she is actually tempering that quality, and you won't see its full manifestation until months from now when you are husband and wife. And that is why a close examination of a couple's combined personality dynamics is essential for effective marriage preparation. Your personalities influence everything in your marriage. They influence your thinking, attitude, motivation, expectations, and behavior. In short, they influence how you give and receive love. It is difficult to exaggerate how much your two unique personalities will shape your experience of married life together. Unfortunately, it is impossible to do this topic justice through the pages of a book. Your two personalities are far too complicated. That is one of the primary reasons we designed the Save Your Marriage Before It Starts assessment. More than half of the personalized 15-page report is dedicated to helping you see everything from communication and conflict to sex and money through the lens of your two unique personalities and how they can be leveraged for maximizing your love for each other. It begins by helping you uncover what kind of spouse each of you tend to be. As you can see, you can land in one of the 8 differences, and there is this drawing here, and I'll read what is in this drawing. I would put it on the screen. As you can see, you can land in one of the 8 different personality types, and even when you land in one of them, your personality is far too unique to be summarized by a label or even a paragraph. That is why the assessment provides you with several pages of information about your two personality. And even if you are on the same overall personality types, you have differences within them. Here is a quick cursory snapshot of each. Personality 1, achieving spouse. Fact-based, efficient and logical. Pioneering spouse. Result-oriented, bold and innovative. Energizing spouse. Persuasive, outgoing and enthusiastic. Affirming spouse. Optimistic, encouraging and verbal. Cooperating spouse. Service-oriented, peacekeeper and patient. Unwavering spouse. Loyal, sincere and diligent. Deliberating spouse. Devoted, accurate and disciplined. Analyzing spouse. Orderly, conscientious and careful. One personality type is not any better or worse than the other. They are simply different, and that is where far too many couples get bogged down. They don't appreciate, let alone understand, their personality differences. Not only that, they don't understand how they play off of each other. It is one thing to discover how each of your personalities are depicted, but your love goes to a whole new level once you both see what happens when your two personalities mesh. For example, what happens when an affirming spouse marries an analyzing spouse? This kind of information about your two personalities is exactly what is unpacked in the assessment. And there is a quote here by W. Clement Stone, and it says, "There is little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference." There is a subheading here titled, Your Personalities Are God-Given. You can't choose your personalities like you choose your wardrobe. Relatively speaking, you have just one personality for life. It is something you are born with. Sure, you can modify portions of your personality, and your response to your environment can cultivate or stifle aspects of it. But by and large, your personality represents your natural traits or tendencies. Ask any mother who has raised at least 2 children, and chances are she will tell you that they were different from the beginning. For example, one child may have been very friendly and smiled at everyone, whereas the other was always fringe or was always frightened when strangers were present. They were each born that way. And there is a quote here by Robert C. And it says, the goal in marriage is not to think alike, but to think together. That's very, very important. The point is that your personality is in your genes. It is inborn. It is God-given. You inherited it. You inherited a distinctive set of traits that are fundamental to your nature. Your personality is your nature. Surely you've heard your spouse say something like, that's just not you. You might think this when your boss has asked you to greet anyone as they enter a social gathering, and your personality just isn't cut out for that. Do you do what your boss asks? You do if you do want to keep your job. But it feels awkward. The point is that you can behave in a way that does not represent your personality, but this will always be temporary. Any number of situations may require that you behave in a way that is not natural for you to act, but when the need has passed, you will once again act in a way that represents your true temperament. That is because your personality is innate. And that is one of the things that they said you can never, ever, ever hide your character. That's what they mean. It will always show at the end of the day. Getting the love you want is subheading. Violet Bailey and her fiancé, Samuel Booth, were strolling through the English countryside in 1941, deeply in love and engaged to be married. A diamond engagement ring sparkled on Violet's hand, her most treasured possession in brackets. But as can happen with couples, something was said that hurt the other's feeling, and an argument ensued and then escalated. At its worst point, Violet became so angry, she pulled the diamond ring from her fingers, threw back her arms, and hurled the treasured possession with all her might into the field. The ring sailed through the air, fell on the ground, and nestled under the grass in such a way that it was impossible to see. Violet and Samuel eventually made up. Their argument, both agreed, was foolish. Desperate to recover their lost ring, they walked and walked through their field hunting for it, but they never found it. 2 months later, they were married. They had a child and eventually a grandson. Part of their family lore was the story of the lost engagement ring. Everyone knew about it, even decades later. We'll continue in the next one.